In this video, we are going to look at the falling standards in the United Kingdom and specifically at a High Court ruling that bans Muslim prayers in a North London community school. This is the school, the Michaela Community School. You may have seen it in the press, and we'll have a look at the news article in a minute. It's run by a fantastic woman called Katharine Birbalsingh, who I have spoken to on Twitter before. I was banned from Twitter today, in fact, for something I said. And have a look across the top here. 98% of pupils achieved grade 9-4 in at least 5 subjects. Nearly 2/3 of our pupils achieve an average of straight 7+ grades. Guys, I haven't got children, so let me know if this is good in comparison to the school you send your children to, because it's a very controversial school. A lot of people attack the school because it's fostered in discipline and standards, and we're going to have a look at standards all the way through this video, and I'm going to keep it short. Let's play this film really quickly because I want you to get an idea of this school and an understanding of what Katharine has to say.
Sometimes I think people think about Michaela and they think, oh gosh, is it really mean, and are all the teachers like bouncers? And of course it's nothing like that. What's key about Michaela is that the teachers are in charge. They're in charge of the children's learning and they lead that. And the children then feel safe in that environment to be able to put their hands up and answer loads of questions. The children know that we're with them, and the children trust us. The teachers love them, the children love them back.
That shit makes me emotional for some reason. Amazing, isn't it? You're giving students an education, young people, empowering them. And the issue that we had is that there was, unfortunately, a court case brought, publicly funded, we'll have a look at it now in the newspaper, by a parent. Well, I think it's by a child, and then the parents got involved. Muslim student loses High Court challenge against prayer ban at Michaela Community School. There was a legal challenge brought, I remember when it was brought last year, I believe it was, against this North London school, because she doesn't allow students to congregate or to pray during the day. So they're not allowed to be, I think, more than 4 students at one time. They're not allowed mobile phones. They're not allowed to speak in the corridors. A lot of people say it's very draconian, but the results speak for themselves. There's a waiting list. You can't just get into this school. You have to put your name down. And a lot of people obviously want to go there. It's a very multicultural school in London. One of the few places that multiculturalism seems to be working in the UK is in this particular school, probably because it's not rushed or forced. Now, it says here they faced a legal challenge from a Muslim pupil over claims she had been discriminated against on the basis of her religion. Now, when you come into the school, it says all these things. It's not a surprise. It says exactly what you can and you can't do. And unfortunately, this young woman and her parents have decided to take them to court, and they lost. Katharine suspended the student based on the account of a teacher that she had been extremely rude and defiant as the prayer row continued to grow. Now, what the issue was is that they were encouraging these students, apparently, were encouraging other students, or this student was, to have to wear the full hijab, as it called, and to pray all the time because they were Muslim school kids. They were sort of trying to take over the school a little bit. Let's have a look really at what Katharine has to say about it. So I said, after Katharine said, my statement regarding the verdict on our ban of prayer rituals at Michaela. Now, Muslims all over the UK are getting, they're not. There's a few Muslims who are very vocal, in a minority, of course, who are on a huge crusade about this for some reason. And I think this is one of the problems, is that we're a Christian nation in the UK, as I'm sure we're all aware, and we have to make sure, personally, that maintains that way. I don't really care people saying, well, if it comes Muslim, you do whatever, mate, go back, go to a Muslim country. Christian nation here. I think that's very important, especially as a Christian man myself. I said, now expel the pupils. So I'm serious about this. I said they broke the rules that they've signed up to. There's limited space in the school anyway. They use taxpayer money to do so, £150,000. Take it to court. They've got no place in the school. Get rid of them. Let's have a look at a statement. It's going to be hard to read, so I'll read it to you and I'll highlight the passages I think that are of interest to us. We're not going to spend too long. I think, interestingly, before we do that, let's have a look at something about standards. Really, let's just really think about what standards are and why we have them. Because the standards that I used to set weren't necessarily in a vindictive or nefarious way. You have to hold yourself to account to a higher standard because it reflects on other people. It's important. It means you care about them. Here's someone from CrossFit saying something about this. I just found on the internet the other day.
Put on my red shirt when I go work for CrossFit. We have standards. And when I'm in the affiliate, guess what we have? Standards. We don't apologize for that. It's a separator for us. And what you're saying when you don't hold somebody to a standard, indirectly, whether you believe it or not, is you don't care enough about them to ask more of them than they do of themselves. You're going to draw your line in the sand, and you're going to start caring about people by holding the standard.
That's exactly how I run my school as well. I hold pretty high standards in my school, and it does mean some students leave. They get upset, of course. They think I don't care about them. They think I'm having a go at them, and that's not the truth, of course. I want them to be better than me. That's the whole point of Shadowlands online flying training, is I want you to be better than me. That's the whole point of you coming in and learning to fly on this. A school should be free to do what is right for the pupils it serves. The court's decision is therefore a victory for all schools. This is important. Schools should not be forced by one child and her mother to change its approach simply because they have decided they don't like something at the school. They knew the terms when they signed up, and then they decided to change those terms. And that's quite important as we go on. At Michaela, we positively embrace small c conservative values, which millions of people, including so many of our families and pupils, also value. Those values enable extraordinary academic progress, but they also promote a way of living where gratitude, agency, and personal responsibility, refusal of identity politics, victimhood, love of country, hard work, kindness, a duty to others, self-sacrifice for the betterment of the whole are fundamental to who we are. Isn't that amazing? What a sentence. Multiculturalism works at Michaela's not because we've emptied the identity space of the school in order to accommodate difference, but because we have a clear identity which anyone can sign up to if they are willing to compromise. This is what America does very well under "you are an American." Is what the United Kingdom has done so badly, of course, by flooding the country with immigration, of course, and the pace of immigration has meant that multiculturalism has absolutely failed within the UK. We could have told you that years ago, of course. Michaela is a school that works miracles in London's inner city, achieving on average nearly 2.5 grades higher at GCSE, with the best progress 8 score for 2 years running, out of all of the 4,000 secondary schools across the country. And people are having a go at this school because of the standards and the disciplines that Katharine sets. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. But our families choose Michaela not just because of the extraordinary learning and access to social mobility that we provide. They choose Michaela because they recognise that our traditional values create a school environment that is a joy to be in. Our children are happy and are friends with each other across racial and religious divides. Our 800 visitors a year, and I said you can go and visit this school, you just fill in a form on their thing. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to, can attest to this. All anyone needs to do to see this for themselves is sign up on the website for a visit. Ever since the idea of Michaela began in 2011, our detractors have rallied against our strict rules and traditional values. Their patronising, paternalistic, we know what's best of you, progressive thinking goes like this. Ethnic minority families cannot possibly know what they want and have chosen and continue to choose for their children. These choices must be made for them. We need to have the honesty to call that out. A deep-seated progressivist racism fuels the condescending belief that ethnic minorities cannot think and choose for themselves. It is what has allowed a particular kind of bullying identity politics to take a grip of our country, specifically from what I would say is left-leaning neoliberals within the city of London. More than 40% of our pupils are siblings. This is so powerful. In 2014, 30% of our intake was Muslim. It is now 50%. We are oversubscribed. If our families did not like the school, they would not repeatedly choose to send their children to Michaela. At the 2 welcome events all parents must attend before sending their children to Michaela, I run through everything that makes Michaela different to other schools. Constant supervision, family lunch, silent corridors, no prayer rooms, easy ways to get detention, strict uniform, etc. If parents do not like what Michaela is, they do not need to send their children to us. Can it be right for a family to receive £150,000 of taxpayer-funded legal aid to bring a case like this? The judge is clear that the child's statements were not written by her alone. Indeed, this mum intends to send her second child to Michaela starting in September. At the same time, this mum has sent a letter to our lawyers suggesting that she may take us to court yet again over another issue at the school she doesn't like. Presumably, once again, at the taxpayer's expense. I see this more and more from Muslim crowds, within the United Kingdom, that they've come in and all of a sudden they want change, as opposed to coming in and just assimilating. Now, of course, the vast majority do this, of course, but there are some really bad actors, and I think this mum is specifically one of these bad people. Last year, we watched our Muslim pupils put under pressure by a tiny number of others to fast, to pray, to drop out of the choir, to wear a hijab. I watched one of my black teachers racially abused and intimidated, another teacher who had her personal home nearly broken into, another with a brick thrown through her window. I have a duty of care to protect all our pupils, but also my staff. There is a false narrative that some try to paint about Muslims being an oppressed minority at our school. They are in fact the largest group. I think 50%. Those who are most at risk are other minorities and Muslim children who are less observant. Identity politics is, I mean, it's ridiculous in the UK. I think literally the UK is going away I've never seen before. And we'll watch a film now, have a bit of a break. We'll watch a little bit of film about Joe Rogan talking about David Goggins. And I'm a big fan of this, about not slacking. Let's watch that film. We'll come back and finish this off.
I'm going to read you what David Goggins sent me on my birthday. This day, 54 years ago, you took your first breath. When taking that first breath, it made you eligible to die. I hope you're not enjoying your day by sitting on the fucking couch with your feet up. Hopefully you're out there somewhere suffering, talking to that inner bitch. See, Joe, the inner bitch loves motherfuckers' birthdays. Why? Because it makes you an even bigger bitch. Because we feel it's our special fucking day, so we can just chill the fuck out. Most people wake up to just exist on this planet. So, Joe, if you haven't gotten the fuck after it yet, maybe you should.
Right, let's just finish this quickly then. So at Michaela, we expect all religions and all races to make the necessary sacrifices to enable our school to thrive. The vast majority do so without complaint. We make the sacrifice of eating vegetarian food at lunch to enable us to break bread with each other across racial and religious divides. For those who take the dim view of Muslims or multiculturalism, I would urge you to remember our hundreds of Muslim families who love our school. When we were in court, we fought to retain the media ban because the threat of harm and danger of violence were clearly very real. And that's sad. The members of the press in the courtroom who showed me the most compassion was Muslim. It is more of a challenge for multicultural schools to succeed. One need only look at the schools that top the Progress H chart. The vast majority are faith schools with one religion. I went to a Catholic school when I was a kid. It was a very high-ranking school in the area, that was. Schools that are secular and multicultural must be allowed the same right that religious schools have, the right to unity, the right to reject division, the right to not have the black group, the Hindu group, the Muslim group, the LGBT group, etc. Everyone is welcome in our community, but our community isn't an empty space. It has its own identity, which we'll invite everyone to belong to. Singular identity, very important, guys. We could argue that is British, couldn't we? Well, it should be anyway. So we sing God Save the King because our country and our flag unite us. There you go. Ethnic minorities should be able to identify as British. If we are saying that being an ethnic minority and being British are incompatible, then as a nation we are in deep trouble. And I think we are in deep trouble. And I look at that with recently with this the Home Office thing. Let's have a look at this. And this is Stephen Edgington. I've got a lot of time for. Leaked doc shows Home Office Islamic networks say they aim to recruit Muslim staff and influence policymakers to support Muslim needs. This is the thing. When you start having these networks, like I know there's the Black Police Association, isn't it? I'm sure in the Royal Air Force there's a lot of these things as well. Where's the unification? Why do you need these things? Why can't you be in the Home Office, a British person in the Home Office? Why do Muslims have specific needs, or Hindus or Sikhs or anyone else, or Christians? Why can't you just be a member of the Home Office? When we tell our kids to be top of the pyramid, our goal for them isn't to be the richest or the most famous or even the cleverest. It is to be someone who lives a life of moral worth shaped by self-sacrifice, filled with gratitude for what they have, and doing all they can to help those who have not. I talk about suffering a lot, guys. Sacrifice is brilliant. And whilst we're there, let's just quickly talk about that last video I put out. I just want to say thank you for all the comments down here, 387. If you see a little white tick next to it, I've actually gone down and read that comment and I've ticked it. And there are some amazing comments down here, guys. There we go. Look at that. So to hell with the haters. As an ex-US Special Ops guy, there's ex-Air Force guys down here. There's just some solid dudes from all walks of life and dudettes writing stuff. And I can't, look, stay strong. So I'm ex-RF. God bless. There you go. I can't answer them all. There's 387 and I don't know how to deal with it really, other than I've had so many emails, people asking me to start up my spin recovery program for people going through transitional times. And I want to do that, but I need to work a way of it being less pressure on me. And if I do that, guys, I will put out stuff for you in the future. Too long, didn't read. Thank you. And I'll put this video linked up at the end of this video if you want to go and have a look at the last video. And I appreciate that, guys. Michaela stands for values that provide us with a way of living through the good times and the bad, whether we are rich or poor, with GCSE grade 9 and grade 4s, whether we are white or black, tall or short. At Michaela, we cherish and embrace these values for all of our pupils, whether their race, whatever the religion, strength and honour, God save the King, Katharine Birbalsingh. Now, she flashes up all the right people, of course, God save the King. Can you imagine that? She annoys all the right people. What an absolutely fantastic woman. I've got a lot of time for her. She knows it. I speak to her occasionally if I possibly can, you know what I mean? Because obviously she's a busy woman. Unfortunately, I can't answer anything at the moment because my account was locked, because I did put this post out. A huge St George's cross was unveiled in Nottingham today. The 60-foot long flag installed in the front of the City Council house. I said that should annoy the right people, and it really did. People complained about this, and they said, well, very soon it will be replaced by an LGBT flag. And I said, then we'll go and burn it all down. That apparently you're not allowed to say on X. I got banned for a week. So that's why I'm not posting on it at the moment. You can't say, even in jest, you're going to go and burn stuff down. Apparently that's like illegal in some shit in X land. So let's just leave that there then, guys. Hope you got something out of that. You know how I'm about standards, and I do want to set up like a standards club that we can all join to help each other out, base it around Discord or something for you, because I use Discord already. I'll run it the same kind of model I do now, you know, gym membership fee. Let's get a workout program that'll help you write everything else, get some nutrition advice for you as well. We can jump in there, build that massive community about sacrifice, suffering, personal endeavor, which is another word someone said. Actually, I thought that was quite good. But if you do want to donate to Catherine's school, I will link her in when I get my X back, my Twitter back, you know what I mean? I will try and link her in. Then here's the page for donating. I think she's a fantastic woman. I think they're doing some great things. It doesn't take much. Chuck her a 10 or something like that, you know what I mean? Go and visit the school. You can actually do that. You can actually go and say, I'd like to come visit the school, and she will show you around, show you what the school is about. I still have to do that at some point, but look, guys, you know how I am anyway. I really appreciate your time. I will put that video up here. That last one you can have a look at if you want, where I thought, am I spiraling? It's like, no, my standards are just well higher than a lot of my critics. That's the only thing, guys. I really appreciate your time. I'll get this video out tonight. Tim Davies, Fast Jet Performance.